shot. Good combination from Steven.
Cartonian still strong. But you either got to create your offense off your jab, Tess.
All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still, WBC lightweight champion of the world, Shakur Stevenson.
You gonna take all his fades and take all his shots and you handle everything out the ring? All right. So then we talking to you then, all right? We starting with you. Since you the big homie, we starting with you. That's how it goes around here.
DMs are hard. Congratulations. If your hands are soft but your DMs are hard, congratulations, you're officially a threatfluencer. Mase didn't just call out the alleged goons, he spiritually uppercutted every aging street exec who's allergic to self-reflection. In a recent scorched earth moment, the former bad boy rapper went mask off on the shady behavior of unnamed folks. But come on. We all know the initials are JP, accusing them of hiding behind puffed-up threats and undercooked talent. The subtext? Stop blaming haters for bad performances. Maybe the crowd is quiet because your punches are too.
I ain't gonna leave him out. I'm just real like this, because, be throwing rocks and hiding their hand, right? They be throwing rocks and hiding their hand. And I don't like them kind of individuals.
You are so, lacking self-awareness. You give such a lackluster performance, and then you think you can make threats to people because you gave a lackluster performance? Pause. You don't have the right to tell me what I should like.
Any message for Cam and Mase? Y'all been going back and forth a lot over the last week. They ain't got my respect. There you go.
Then came J Prince, stepping out like a final boss with decades of street-earned gravitas. He returned to the fray, waving Shakur's ESPN ratings like they were championship belts. This kid pulls numbers, he reminded the world. And with a measured tone, he warned folks not to take it outside the ring. A noble sentiment on the surface. But here's the catch. J Prince's legacy isn't built on staying inside any kind of ring. His quiet influence in both hip-hop and boxing has long been backed by whispers, not press releases. So when he shows up with stats and veiled warnings, some hear strategy, others hear smoke signals. Critics weren't buying the protector role. Instead, they saw a calculated flex, a street legend shielding his guy with reputation rather than letting him stand on ring merit alone. A fighter with supposedly top-tier ratings shouldn't need elder statesmen delivering press briefings. And yet, here we are. This whole saga has exposed a deeper issue, the generational disconnect between digital clout and real-world grit. Cam and Mase mocked what they saw, a young fighter ducking real feedback wrapped in ego and algorithms. Shakur responded by proving their point, not disproving it.
You beef me up, right? Because try to glorify bull. Like you try to glorify soft. Try to glorify that ain't that. It's flaw. We know when flaw when we deal with them in the streets. We know when flaw. Like we understand that they flaw. We don't capitalize off their flawness though, because we'll capitalize off real. We ain't gonna capitalize off no being flawed, weak as hell. We understand what a weak as hell. Then he a street, call himself a street. He could be a street, but he's still weak as hell. We don't capitalize and try to glorify this shit. Nah, we gonna sit and have conversations about as strong as us. We don't have conversations about this.
Meanwhile, J Prince doubled down, not with punches, but with power moves. And once again, Cam and Mase remained exactly where they thrive, on that couch, undefeated in the art of cultural commentary. The Houston mogul came through with a digital chin check, stepping into the spotlight like a hip-hop end-boss with a southern drawl and a legacy too long to Google. "I'll take all bets," he declared, essentially challenging the internet to try him while shielding Shakur like the final prize in a Street Fighter tournament. The message was clear. You clown my guy, you deal with me. But instead of silencing the critics, he kicked off a podcast inferno. Mase wasted no time. He called J Prince a 60-year-old reliving gangland mixtapes, suggesting that the OG wasn't defending the culture, he was replaying it.
I want to just start off by saying you are so lacking self-awareness. Like when you give such a lackluster performance and then you think you can make threats to people because you gave a lackluster performance, pause. You don't have the right to tell me what I should like or to tell Cam what he should like. That's not your place. Like, art is subjective, right? So if art is subjective and I don't like something, you can't really get mad at us because we don't like something.
Cam, never one to mince words, practically handed Prince a verbal rocking chair, implying he was stuck in a time loop where the only code that matters is street code, no matter how outdated. The critique wasn't subtle. J. Prince wasn't empowering the next generation, he was cosplaying the Godfather while babysitting a boxer. And the more he publicly shielded Shakur, the more the optics shifted. Suddenly, it wasn't about defending a rising champion, it was about a legend who couldn't let go of control. Because nothing saps a boxer's mystique faster than being baby-walked by the boss. And then came the real plot twist. Cam'ron, Harlem's finest and a man who's rarely short on smoke, dipped out of a packed Atlanta event like a meme in motion.
Boring. You boring. Everybody's seen it. We ain't the only ones who've seen it. You boring. I thought I was rather polite about it. I thought it was cool. Tiafimo, you seen the fight? He said, hell no, why the I watched that? It went 12, right? Yeah, I knew it went 12. Tim Bradley, he's announcing the fight. He says, I got my coffee ready.
1 minute he's backstage, the next, gone. Vanished like a mixtape sample before clearance. Word on the street? He was approached by individuals allegedly tied to J. Prince or his son. Whether it was a peace talk, a veiled warning, or something in between, nobody's saying much and the silence is deafening. Cam, who's built a reputation on standing firm in rap beefs, media jabs, and Harlem skirmishes alike, left the building faster than a TikTok trend. No public explanation, no defiant Instagram live. Just radio silence, which, ironically, spoke volumes. Fans instantly clocked the vibe, the timing, too precise, the exit, too abrupt. This didn't look like scheduling conflict, it looked like someone sent a message. And if it really was just a conversation, why not clarify? Why let speculation go viral? It smelled less like reconciliation and more like a reminder. Some names still carry weight, even in a digital era.
60, you 60. What are you talking about? What are you, bro? I lost mad respect for you because I used to have mad respect for you. When you had Shakur with you, when you line Young Boy NBA up, why the you got Shakur with you? And this is why he acting like that. This is exactly why he acting like that. Talking about you got Young Boy NBA umbrellas and his keys to this car. Young Boy NBA told y'all this is what he said. This is not 1982, bro. You cannot sit here and tell get the strap and then be quiet. Nobody know that part because I just be going viral. You bugging. You bugging, James. You bugging, man. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't know what bet you talking about, all that other slang then. Bet it. Whatever bet you talking about, bet it. I don't know what bet it.
But here's where it backfires, because in trying to tighten the grip, J. Prince may have handed Cam and Mase more fuel. The narrative shifted from funny roast to, are we watching old school street tactics being used to silence podcasters? In a world where transparency is king and virality moves faster than fear, shadow plays don't hit the way they used to. This saga isn't just about boxing anymore, it's about legacy versus leverage, old school code versus new school content, and whether respect is earned in the ring or forced behind the scenes. And through it all, Cam and Mase are still undefeated, not in the ring, but in the studio, where every episode feels like a cultural autopsy dressed in Harlem humor. Because when the real fight is for the narrative, the loudest voice isn't the one with the belt. It's the one with the mic. This scene added real-life stakes to the digital drama. It turned a podcast beef into a street chess match where every move is public, but the checkmate might come in private. After weeks of radio silence, Shakur Stevenson finally responded to the viral roasting he caught from Cam'ron and Mase, but instead of lacing up gloves, he laced up tweets. the clapback was loud, if not exactly surgical.
He said, though,
Who?
Mase.
Mase, what'd he say?
Mase, he had this to say. He said, I don't want to see Shakur fight. I'm going to be honest. No disrespect to Nord, but I don't want to see Shakur fight nobody. For him,
Like I said with the other people, like, I can't really take some of these guys too serious because it's like, they make a living off of trolling people. Like, trolling is what they do on a regular basis. So even before, when I kind of reacted to them, I don't feel the same way now. Now it's like, okay, I understand.
He labeled Ma Dollar E's rap career a flop. Ouch. Mocked Cam's fashion and hairline, double ouch, and finished with a challenge, glove up or shut up. The internet reacted instantly, splitting down the middle like a perfectly timed counterpunch. Half the crowd was in tears laughing, the other half watching with secondhand embarrassment. The punchlines? Funny. The strategy? Flawed. Because for all the bark, Shakur's tweets didn't land where it counted, they dodged the actual criticism. Cam and Ma Dollar E weren't questioning his meme game, they questioned his performance in the ring. They said he danced too much, played it safe, lacked that killer instinct, and instead of answering with analysis, humility, or even a training montage, Shakur fired off personal shots like a teenager dragged on TikTok. In doing so, he didn't silence the trolls, he joined them. His fight shifted from physical to petty, and in a sport where every move is scrutinized under bright lights and bigger cameras, the optics were brutal. The energy felt less like a champ defending his legacy and more like a star spiraling.
Feel about this particular situation. People will always love to hear what Mase and Cam have to say, simply because these two are hilarious together.
And I don't think we need to explain nothing. I don't like explaining myself. Whatever. It is what it is.
Only Eddie Hearn. This is the most traction got, but emotional.
Yeah.
We pay-per-view. Secondly, real quick before
that might be a great idea.
No, it's a fantastic
Not just
idea.
promote it. We should be sitting there commentating when he fights.
Yes. Now they're gonna be mad at that. But we can promote it. We can be a promoter.
Yeah.
Listen, you never got this much traction. We could, dead serious, I know it's gonna be like, oh, think about it. You in Billboard, you ever been in Billboard? You in Billboard. You on TMZ.
You made it.
You made it. You made it. You made it.
You made it.
You're welcome.
You made it.
You never been on TMZ outside of boxing. You never been in This is Billboard. We Billboard. We brought you along. We should. I know you're gonna be like, oh, troll. Now I'm serious.
The comment section. Then came Jay Prince, stepping out like a final boss with decades of street-earned gravitas. He returned to the fray, waving Shakur's ESPN ratings like they were championship belts. This kid pulls numbers, he reminded the world, and with a measured tone, he warned folks not to take it outside the ring. A noble sentiment on the surface. But here's the catch. Jay Prince's legacy isn't built on staying inside any kind of ring. His quiet influence in both hip-hop and boxing has long been backed by whispers, not press releases. So when he shows up with stats and veiled warnings, some hear strategy, others hear smoke signals. Critics weren't buying the protector role. Instead, they saw a calculated flex, a street legend shielding his guy with reputation rather than letting him stand on ring merit alone. A fighter with supposedly top-tier ratings shouldn't need elder statesmen delivering press briefings. Jay Prince stepped back into the spotlight, flashing Shakur Stevenson's ESPN viewership numbers like they were championship belts. The message? The kid pulls numbers, so show some respect. He warned critics not to take it outside the ring. A seemingly noble sentiment until you remember that historically, Prince isn't one to stay inside any proverbial ring when things get spicy. Sure, he flexed the business acumen, decades of influence in both hip-hop and boxing, but critics weren't impressed by the resume. Instead, they saw a power move disguised as mentorship, a grown man leaning on legacy to shield a fighter from criticism rather than letting the fighter's skills speak for themselves. The contradiction hit hard. A boxer with top-tier ratings shouldn't need a shadowy entourage to protect his image. That's not greatness, that's politics. And in the court of public opinion, especially online, politics doesn't always win the fight. Supporters applauded, saying Jay Prince was defending his own staying loyal, staying OG. Detractors rolled their eyes, calling it outdated theatrics in a new media world that values transparency over intimidation. And while the internet argued, Cam and Mase were already reloading for round 3. Mase, never one to duck a verbal jab, went for the throat. If your street code expires after 50, stop acting like you still get updates. He accused J Prince of LARPing as a 90s street boss, complete with cryptic messages and implied consequences. Except this time, the cast is younger, the cameras are always rolling, and the audience isn't scared they're screen recording. According to Mase, being an OG isn't about flexing control, it's about guidance. And hiding behind whether it was sarcasm or strategy, it worked. The feud became a feature, the backlash became buzz, and the smoke got monetized. This wasn't beef, it was content jujitsu. Cam and Mase didn't just deflect the hate, they spun it into currency. While the internet debated who won the sparring match, Cam and Mase walked away with the only thing that really matters in 2025, the algorithm's blessing. Unapologetic world of it is what it is, the talk show turned cultural flamethrower hosted by Harlem legends, Cam'ron and Ma Dollar E. What started as a semi-satirical sports show has evolved into a no-holds-barred roast fest that spares no one and nothing not rappers, not athletes, not even hip-hop royalty. Their style, ruthless. Their delivery, surgical. Their humor.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing, when you're dealing with older people, they're the last to know that things have changed. We not your little like the way you talk it, I don't get what you mean. We're not your little like for real. All that big homie stuff, that's for little have big homies. We're not little, so we don't even respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't, and for me, I never respected in the streets. That's why I always got the problems I got. Tell me, Mase, chill. No, chill for what? Who is this? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like, I want to respect you, but I can't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if I got a little, like the dudes that raised me, if I was out of pocket, they would tell me I'm out of pocket. They wouldn't let me put them on a crash out mission. They'll say, yo, Mase, listen. Around here, we don't send to do nothing for us. We don't pay to handle our problems. You gotta put in your own work around here, Lord, man. That's what you was supposed to tell them. You can't go out here and talk crazy and then send me on a mission. Nah, this is where the game got messed up, when young started sending old out, and just cause this little ignorant got a few dollars, he make all of you that's supposed to be real run after his mission. This is a problem, J Prince, and I'm gonna tell you like this: if you're 60 years old and you're trying to be a street, you failed. You failed. I'm telling you this, and I stand. My name is Mase. I stand by it.
Borderline criminal, but always hilarious. Depending on which side of Twitter or Threads you scroll through, Cam and Mase are either fearless truth tellers breathing life back into barbershop culture, or two washed-up icons with mics, bored with rap checks, and eager to rile up the timeline for clicks and clout. Their comedy is raw and unfiltered, blending decades of street savvy with a media-savvy twist. They'll critique your footwork in the ring, your bar structure in a diss track, and your outfit all before the commercial break. They've taken aim at everyone from J Prince to DJ Envy, proving no one is above the smoke. But is it all just jokes, or are they playing with fire? Critics argue that the duo walks a fine line, sometimes stomping over it by taking shots that could reignite real-life beefs. In a culture where words have weight and reputations are currency, they risk being seen as instigators in a world already on edge. The wrong joke could travel further than a diss track and land harder than a right hook. Supporters, on the other hand, say Cam and Mase are doing the work no one else will, keeping it real in an era of industry plants, fake flexing, and unchecked egos. They're not just trolling, they're holding court, speaking on behalf of a generation that remembers when credibility mattered more than clicks. It's the classic new school versus old school tension, but this time, the old heads have the better lighting, the tighter punchlines, and the Instagram clips to prove it. Cam's charisma and Mase's sly, pastor-gone-petty energy make for an unbeatable combo. A Harlem tag team that knows exactly how to ride the line between comedy and commentary. Love them or hate them, Cam and Mase have tapped into something bigger than just entertainment. They've created a space where authenticity thrives, even if it comes with a side of slander. And if you step to them, you'd better have more than a tough chin. You'll need bars, strategy, and maybe even a burner account. Because one thing's for sure, if they roast you on that couch, it might be the only knockout anyone remembers. Love them or hate them, Cam and Mase flip the whole saga into content gold again. While others throw punches, they throw punchlines, and in this era, that's the real knockout.